I'm Tracey Johnston. I'm a systemic psychotherapist, and I am, along with Peter, a guest editor of the special edition on Indigenous practice and family therapy.
Yeah, and I'm Peter Robinson. I'm a psychotherapist and also the guest editor of the special edition.
So, Peter, I thought it might be useful if we talked a little bit about, first of all, how the special edition came about.
Yeah, okay. If you remember, we were in Malaga at the IFTA 2022 conference.
Yeah.
And just after the conference ended, we met up, or we bumped into Glenn Larner and Daisy Amarin Woods, who are the editors of the Australian and New Zealand Journal of Family Therapy. And we were having a conversation about our need to return to our own Celtic indigenousness and our hope to develop therapy approaches based on this, such as the Mirrors of Possibilities practice that we had developed. And you can see a paper about this in the special edition.
Yeah.
And then following that discussion, much to our surprise and pleasure, they invited us to serve as guest editors for the special edition. So that's how that
Yeah,
happened.
indeed.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think as guest editors, we want to first of all acknowledge all our ancestors, ours and yours, and all the beings that came before. We want to acknowledge all Indigenous peoples of the world. All people are more than humans, animals, plants, and places, and the generations to come, who will continue our kinship relationship with the natural world.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's really important. And we keep keeping that in mind. So although all the papers are in the Australian New Zealand Journal of Family Therapy in the special edition, it's a global project really with a diverse selection of papers from the North and South America, Ireland, Scotland, Australia, New Zealand, Taiwan, India, and Africa. And we must acknowledge that this journal is published in English, and this is the language of the colonizers. And so many contributors are writing in their second language. So we're taking note of that as well.
Yeah.
And why do you think the special edition is important, Tracey?
Well, I think because decolonising our practice is really important, Peter. And I think the papers in this special edition um, all cover that topic. But in addition, the special edition shows that despite our differences, systemic psychotherapy, when it's decolonised from neoliberalism and individualism, it has a lot to do with the kinship Indigenous worldview. And, I guess together they can forge better ways for systemic family therapy and the work that we do with our clients.
Yeah, okay. And I think also in contrast to local Indigenous and First Nations traditions and cultures, what we've done is we've primarily adopted a kinship Indigenous worldview, which was developed by Four Arrows and Darshar and Narvaez in 2022. And this has helped us guide us through this issue. And from this perspective, we see the kinship Indigenous worldview as an opportunity to redo therapy and find perspectives via kin and more than human kin to counteract the dominant Western neoliberal worldview, which is harming us all
Mm.
and the planet. So the 20 papers contained in what is to date the largest special edition of the Australian New Zealand Journal of Family Therapy are a testament to the rich diversity of voices from around the world. And together, the paper offers us reflection, some hope, and it also challenges us to consider how we welcome clients and ethically position ourselves as human beings and therapists to engage in decolonising our thinking and our therapy.
Yeah. Um, and we've thought a lot about how we can highlight the papers
Mm.
in this journal. But there's so many of them that we thought
Mhm.
that perhaps highlighting the themes that come up would it would be the best approach. So the papers in the special edition highlight themes of silencing, relationships, reciprocity, connection,
Mhm.
and also the responsibility to our kin and to the shared natural world. Um, there's also reflections on the impact of colonization, oppression, inequality, and exploitation. And some of the papers in the special edition are about local Indigenous cultural practices and how they're informed by their spirituality and how these practices are there to support the well-being of people in their communities.
Mhm. Yeah. And another theme is how colonial systems have also shaped family therapy. And this is really important. And in that, we're urging the practitioners to recognize, challenge, and decolonize these influences within themselves and in their therapeutic practices. And in so doing, begin to address, alongside other systemic practices, the influences within themselves and systems of power and oppression. And of course, we're all embedded in the dominant worldview, and this is an ongoing challenge. Okay.
Yeah, and I was thinking about you know, how some of the papers and the people speaking from their position are talking from a position of wanting to come back to um, Indigenous knowledge and realize how far removed they've become. And I would include myself in that. I know you do too.
Hmm.
Um, but it's a real call to to all of us to be more mindful of Indigenous practice.
Yeah, and it's a real challenge, which we have to be very, or we've certainly found it a real challenge to remain conscious of that process and how we embody it as we practice our therapy. In terms of that, we've had lots of help from various people during this process of being the editors of the special edition. Um, and as such, we'd like to acknowledge all the people that have helped us. It's been a great privilege in that respect. And we especially like to thank both Daisy Amron Woods and Glenn Larner for inviting us to be the guest editors in the first place and their ongoing support throughout the process. And also to Robin Latham, who supported us in considering the various complexities of Indigenous knowledges and ensuring some level of cultural safety. Um, in addition, we had some help from Imelda McCarthy in
Yeah.
particular, who would like to personally thank. So there we go. Do you think there's anything else we need to add there, Tracy?
Yeah, only to say that I I know that we have a hope that the that people will enjoy the journal and enjoy learning from others.
Hmm.
And that we also hope that this isn't the end of the conversation. We would really love to see more contributors um, in the future, keeping these ideas alive. It's very important to continue that.
Hmm.
Um, and yeah, that we keep going in some way because I
Yeah,
think
we
it's
have
a good
to we have to
topic.
keep going. Really important. Okay, well, thank you everyone, and bye bye, and we'll see you sometime soon.
Okay, bye bye.
Bye bye.